What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today I'm going to showcase a Seismitoad team in the Open Great League. Now, Seismitoad is a Pokemon that going into this season, I honestly had very low hopes for. I figured it'd be alright, you could probably make it work if you wanted to, but I thought that Shadow Quagsire would always just be better. But after playing it today, this Pokemon is very interesting, right? Icy Wind debuffs, you spam those out so quickly. Earth Power with that energy cost decrease is a very spammy attack as well, and it hits just so hard. And because you have that Ice-type coverage that's so consistent, the Flying types and the Grass types that normally Mud Boys don't want to see, they are nowhere near as big of a threat. So honestly, Seismitoad, I think, is so much better than I was expecting this season. But real quick, before we do get into the battles, I want to ask if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into the battles and see Seismitoad in action. Alright, we got our first opponent here. We'll see Mantine into a Shadow Mightyena, okay. This is going to be an interesting Pokemon to see in the lead, because I've seen people run Mightyena and Carbink, or even like Wigglytuff. I don't even know if I've seen a Wigglytuff this season, but like, that's a Pokemon I have seen people run in the past with Mightyena. So if that's the case, then it's going to be a spot here where Tinkaton hopefully has play in the back line. We're going to go straight for the Twister here, because, I mean, I just want to get a no-shield. I want consistent damage against this. And I should survive a crunch and just win the zero-shield matchup. We'll see what they do, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a crunch, but if they Poison Fang bait us, then that's just a classic Mightyena user play. They do go for that. In comes a Twister here. They catch on Galarian Corsola. Okay. Actually, I don't really know what I want to bring in here. I think bringing in my Seismitoad's going to be the play, though. Just in case there's something in the backline I really want to one-shot with Gigaton Hammer. I'm going to go for the Icy Wind immediately, because I know Earth Power wouldn't knock out anyway. I guess Seismitoad did get a double buff this season, right? Both Icy Wind as well as Earth Power here going to be... Well, I guess Icy Wind added to its moves, that Earth Power going to be just a better move. So, I mean, now after the Icy Wind, as well as the chip damage from the Twister, they should be in range where my next attack knocks him out. But I am taking a little bit of a risk here bringing in Seismitoad rather than Tinkaton. I could have brought in Tinkaton here and just, like, guaranteed that it had place somewhere. But by coming in with Seismitoad into this, it's going to mean, potentially, Tinkaton in the backline, if there's not a Fairy type, could be in a bad spot. But we'll see shortly, I'm sure. Earth Power gets the knockout. We actually see the final Pokemon is Mantine. Well, that's not bad either, because while I do have Tinkaton that doesn't necessarily want to be in a spot where you're doing resisted damage, Gigaton Hammer doesn't really care, and we get to debuff them too. So we just switch out, and if they swap to clear their debuff, I get a big farm down here. And they don't even get a move off. That's not great for them, if I'm being honest. But they did clear their debuff, so it's like slightly better, but not good enough. There we go, nice. Alright, next opponent. We will see Mantine up against the Ufisk. Well, this is the thing that I'm the weakest to on the team, so we'll figure out how we play around this. I'm going to save swap my Seismitoad here, and we are met by a Pelipper. Okay, well, this isn't great so far. Honestly, this is looking like a loss, almost certainly, but we'll try our best to win this one. I'm going to just spam out Icy Winds here, try to get energy on my backline if possible, and we'll see what they do. They could be going for a Hurricane here. It's hard to say what they'd really want to do in this matchup. They could just go for Weather Balls as well, though. I'm going to shield this up, because I think it's a good chance it's a Hurricane at least, and if I debuff the next Hurricane, I'm going to take a lot less damage. I do have a decent amount of energy still here, so I think I can get a second Icy Wind off before, well, I guess a third Icy Wind in total before the next Hurricane. It's like 8-7, I believe, to reaching the Hurricanes. So yeah, we get a third Icy Wind debuff off. That's not bad, honestly. Do we get a shield here? Our opponent does shield, alright. Well, I mean, at this point, Seismitoad's put in quite a bit of work in this matchup, which is insane. They might go for the Hurricane now, but a -3 Hurricane probably does not knock us out. Man, I wish I had a Ufisk answer in the backline, because it looks like I might be able to flip this. They do Hurricane us, but I have another Icy Wind, so we actually just either get the second shield here, or knock him out. I think I would love it if they end up shielding this. A shield here would be huge. Okay, well, -4 Pelipper. We all know the play, right? We just come back in Mantine, get a full farm down here, and hopefully Water Pulse is going to be good enough against that Ufisk that we're not in a bad spot. It's a -4 Hurricane, half damage of what it would normally do. How little is this going to do to Mantine here? Hurricane bounces right off us, and they're giving us a full farm down. That's huge. Okay, I think that's only a Weather Ball here. -4 Weather Ball also not going to do too much, and honestly, even if this is a Hurricane, it's not like a Discharge wouldn't one-shot us anyway, right? That does nothing. Okay, that's awesome. Water Pulse. And do I just ever stay in here and try to go for another one? Because I think they're at 4 right now. I think I might just stay in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they catch, I guess, on Furo. How do I feel about this? Not amazing. I wish I would have saved the energy. But, I mean, that's not terrible chip damage. 5... Okay, I'm going to shield this up, and then swap into my Tinkaton here. I think if I save a Water Pulse, and I knock out the Furo, I win the game, right? So let's just save the energy here. Come in Tinkaton, go for the full farm down if we can. Now, Drill Run is a little bit cheaper than it used to be. So they will get one, although I think they would have got one anyway, even without the buff this season. But it should just make it so at this point, like I just farm down, and then I have energy for the Ufisk. Now I have a Bulldoze ready to go. I'm almost at 2, actually. So that's kind of cool. They need to go for a Mud Bomb here, I think. A Mud Bomb plus a Discharge to win this game, but they do have the energy for that right now. So if I'm not able to win CMP against Ufisk, I lose this match. But I'm pretty sure Mantine's not that bulky. I'm almost certainly win CMP here. As long as my guy comes in on time. There we go. Nice. I guess we just won this one, actually. Hold on. Seismitoad's save swap is insane. It just flipped a Pelipper. It made it... Well, it didn't flip it, but it could have. It got a shield advantage, got -4 attack drops against him. That's just ridiculous. All right, next opponent. We'll see Mantine, hopefully not into a Ufisk here. Okay. This is kind of fine, but also I hate it so much. We'll see what's going to be in the backline. I would imagine there's going to be some water types in the back that could make my backline struggle. I'm going to go for the Water Pulse here, though, because we know at this point that Mantine is a pretty bulky Pokemon. I should be able to survive a Weather Ball. And I guess we'll see what they do after. Yeah, big Weather Ball here. How much does it even do? How much HP do I have? I don't like that the HP bar sometimes doesn't show up right after an attack. Yeah, we're below half HP. I'm going to switch. 8, 9, 10, 11... Okay. I'm going to shield this up. I think that keeping my Seismitoad healthy, just in case they Dazzling Gleam us here, could be a good play. Just a Weather Ball, but even still, that would do more damage than I'd like here. What is this? Oh, it's their own Seismitoad here. Okay, well, I'm going to Icy Wind first. I don't actually know if this is a good play or not. It's the one I'm going for, though, because I don't know if we actually two-shot this with Earth Power. I guess we probably would. But it's fine. Like, we survived their Earth Power now after that debuff, whereas they might not. How much does this even do? I have no idea what Seismitoad damage ranges look like. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage. I'm going to get a farm down here. I can let this go. Mudshot down, come out with enough energy to hopefully get a move off into whatever comes in. And then I get my Tinkaton, hopefully against that Ninetales. All right, yeah, big farm down. What is going to come in? It's their final Pokemon, a Scrafty of all things. Okay, well, this is interesting, because I could bring in my Tinkaton here. But I think that bringing Mantine's probably just a better play. Okay, well, I survived this move. The main thing is I don't want to take too much chip damage on my Ninetales, or on my Tinkaton, rather. And Ninetales can put in more fast food pressure than you might expect against this Pokemon, despite resisting all of the attacks they have. Unless they have Chilling Water, I guess. But even if they do have Chilling Water, I think we're going to be fine if we can knock out this Ninetales. We'll see what they do. It is Chilling Water, okay. So they do have a neutral attack into us, that's good to know. I'm going to go for the Gigaton. I want to guarantee a knockout or a shield at this point. And we'll see how they play it out. Do they go for a shield themselves? Or do they just let it go? They do shield. Could have gone for a bait there. But that is such a risky bait, in my opinion. Alright. I'm going to no-shield this once again. I know I survived this attack here, and it could be a risky no-shield once again, but I'm going for it. You can't stop me. They probably catch my Gigaton, which they do end up doing. But, like, I think that's fine. I'm at -2 attack. Keep that in mind. I'm going to try to go for a wing attack down here, if possible, and get a Water Pulse off into that Ninetales. We actually get the perfect undercharge. So we come out with a Water Pulse that we have ready. That could not have gone much better. That could not have gone much better at all. So now Water Pulse gets the knockout here, and we get the win. What a close game. What a strange team, though. That's crazy. All right, next battle here. Hopefully we start seeing something a little bit better than these, like, the fairy types and stuff we're seeing. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess this is like a fairy type that we technically wall, right? But, I don't know if this is that good. Like, because the thing is, I have my Seismitoad in the backline that would rather be here, right? 8. But it's also, like, it's not bad for Mantine. but it's not as good as you'd think it would be, because you don't two-shot with Water Pulse. I'm going to save swap my Seismitoad here, catch a Gigaton Hammer, I think. They're at 10 right now, so 3 past the Gigaton, 4 away from their next move. Ow. What is this? Oh, that is not an answer. I mean, it kind of is because I got chipped down, but, like, it's not as bad as it could be, especially because I can just debuff them and then come in with my own Tinkaton here, get a huge farm down. Again, they're 4 away from their next Gigaton Hammer on Tinkaton. That does a lot of damage. 5, 6. Okay, well, they probably have to Brick Break us, right? Because it's probably Brick Break plus Rock Tomb. I think I actually might survive a Brick Break here. Okay, well, I lied. That's fine. We just come in Tinkaton anyway, and we force more Brick Breaks out of them, but I get a big farm down here. I get such a big farm down that I don't think a lot of things in the backline really want to take this damage. They could swap out now back into their own Tinkaton, if their switch clock's up, that is. Which honestly, maybe it isn't. Nice, we get the full farm down right before they're able to get their move off, and they should be in Gigaton range on their Tinkaton. And with this big energy lead, that is not looking great for them, so they just top left. And once again, we get the win. Alright, next opponent. We'll see. Mantine up against a Tinkaton once again. Okay, well, we just won the last game. But honestly, you know, this time I'm going to switch out instantly. Maybe this is a terrible play, but I like swapping Seismitoad. It feels strong. And well, it's... yeah, that's looking pretty good for us right now. Marowak comes in, and this is definitely not an answer. I just spam out Icy Wind so quickly here, and we get a shield instantly. Okay. Well, the thing is, I don't really need Switch this game. The reason I swapped wasn't because I was bad, but just because I was better in the backline to the Tinkaton, so I don't necessarily care as much of what they're doing. That is nothing after the debuff. Got another move right about now, but they are not able to farm us down, I don't believe, before I get a third Icy Wind. So I think we're going to get 3 attacks off here, or force energy out of this Pokemon. That is so much damage. Oh my goodness, non-stab Icy Wind? They have to throw energy. That is embarrassing for the Marowak. Unfortunately, they might be able to get to a Rock Slide against my Mantine, which would be super effective, but it's -2, so, like, it's not the end of the world here. Okay, but, like, if we catch it, it also doesn't matter. -2 Rock Slide into a Tinkaton's gonna do even less. And I got a Fairy Wind Sneak, too. What if they went for the Bone Club bait? No, they went for the Rock Slide. That's kind of sad for them. And they bring in the Tinkaton here once again. Now, keep in mind, they do have the energy lead here, so they can't get a Gigaton Hammer off first. But the way that I see it, I do have 2 shields, and they only have 1, so I'm going to shield the first one up. They do go for a Gigaton. No Bulldoze bait's really nice to see. And now we'll go for the Gigaton here, hoping for the best that we can just land this attack. It would do the most damage that I can to this Pokemon left on my team. Let that go. That's a lot of damage. I think the play here is just to shield and overfarm, because at this point, they're in Bulldoze range, and if I properly shield a Gigaton Hammer, I can pretty easily get to 2 Bulldozes first. They do Gigaton, nice, that's a lot of energy down the drain for them. Okay. Oh, nice catch. That doesn't really matter too much, though, because they have locked themselves in now with whatever they bring in, and since I have a lot of energy on my Mantine, I can just go for a Bulldoze if they come back in Tinkaton, and if they shield this up, then, I mean, I could bring in my Mantine as well. It'd be in a really good spot. Honestly, with Mantine, maybe I'd just go for a farm down. Especially with that debuff. Like, I can survive a Gigaton. Did they Bulldoze, or is that a Gigaton? I wish I could tell you I was counting that precisely, but I was not. Gigaton, okay. But we take that. We're a Mantine. We go for a full farm down. They should be 7 away. So 4, 5, 6. I think that's only a Bulldoze. Unless I'm crazy. But with the energy that we have here and on Tinkaton, I think we're in a good spot no matter what. Yeah, just a Bulldoze. They might get a debuff, but I don't know how much that really matters. Oh my goodness. Pachirisu in the back line. Okay, well, this is interesting, to say the least. I think we're still fine. I hope we're still fine, because I get 2 Water Pulses off here, but that is crazy to see. Can I switch, please? I can. Okay. I hope we're fine here. I think I just go for a Gigaton, honestly, because they're at the next move in just a second. They are 1 away from their next Thunder Punch, and I think a resisted Gigaton Hammer does more than a single Bulldoze, which is so crazy to say, but I think that's true. If it's not true, sue me. We'll find out, though, if this knocks out. I think it should be enough. Yeah, it is. It's just enough. Goodbye, Pachirisu. What a crazy team. That Pokemon is insane in this meta. Also, it's kind of crazy to me how bulky Pachirisu is, saying it's a 1380 CP Pokemon, right? Like, that thing is, like, it's remarkably bulky. That's a 5-0 to start out. Yeah, Pachirisu, maybe don't use that. Or maybe do. It's kind of interesting, at least. Alright, next opponent. We'll see Mantine up against a Galarian Corsola. Okay, pretty neutrally bad to see, but I think it's playable. I can try to catch an attack at some point, too. Although I don't know if they would even throw a Power Gem here. There's a good chance they just go double Nightshade anyway. And that could be annoying to catch one of those. Alright. Water Pulse, no shield, makes sense. Go for the catch attempt. We don't get it. But that's still fine, because Nightshade doesn't do that much damage here. We've chipped down this Corsola quite a bit. And we have an energy lead on Seismitoad. They're at 7, so 2 away from their next move. 3. 4, they have it now. But I mean, at this point, I feel like this is a pretty worthwhile shield. I'm not sure how much damage an Earth Power does to a Galarian Corsola, but I'm sure by the time that I get to, like, back-to-back, one should basically knock him out. So I'm going to throw here, and hope that if this doesn't knock out, that at least 3 more Mud Shots would. I hope that that is the case, but we'll see. Come on, Seismitoad. Oh yeah, that does so much damage. So we get the full farm down now, and we have a lot of energy here for whatever comes in. And it seems like they're kind of scared of me, because they did not bring something in. Okay, well, maybe they're not that scared. They come in with a Dugong. Not the best timing by me to throw this attack, but I didn't really know what that was. Okay, I'm going to switch. I don't want to give a big farm down here. And I bet Wing Attacks plus Twisters are going to add up quite a bit. I could have come in Tinkaton, but they did buff Drill Run, right? So that attack could be a little bit scary to deal with. A little bit quicker pacing on this Pokemon. What is this? Melmetal. Uh-oh. Wait, that's actually really bad. Kind of. Like, it's not great. Melmetal. Is this a Thunderbolt or Rock Slide or something? It is Rock Slide. Wow. That's not ideal. I kind of thought they wouldn't be running that. Okay. I gotta go for a risky play, I think. If we could have got that Water Pulse off, that would have been huge. I guess they're probably on Rock Slide Dynamic Punch. No double Iron Bash. Nice, we get the shield there. That's helpful. And now I just built up a lot of energy against this, I believe. Because Dynamic Punch, when it's debuffed, hopefully doesn't do enough damage to just one-shot us here. Dynamic does, yeah, a little bit of damage, but I think a Drill Run from that Dugong would do more. Okay. I also need to be able to get a Gigaton Hammer into that Dugong at some point. I'm going to throw the Bulldoze now, just to make sure that I don't go well past 100 energy here or something. If they bring in that Dugong, I want to be able to overfarm a little bit. Yeah, that's going to two-shot at least. Okay. I don't like this game, because they could always try to catch a Bulldoze on that Dugong. Okay, we get the move off. And hopefully now I can reach a Gigaton Hammer before a Drill Run. I think we can, because they Icy Winded us on Mantine, right? So they used a lot of energy there. Oh. Well, I'm actually just dumb. Did they not Icy Wind us? Or if they did, they just had a lot of energy. I'm bad at this game. I'm actually... Oh, okay. Well, short-term memory. I'm a goldfish, I guess. Uh-oh. I should have gone for the catch then. That was bad by me. Okay, well, I gotta, like, count better. My counting, and I guess just remembering if they have a move or not, has been a little bit off here. This could be a bad lead if it's on Volt Switch. If it's on Bug Bite, though, probably pretty good for us to see. It is on Bug Bite. So, luckily, no Volt Switch to just destroy our HP right now. I can go for a Water Pulse here before getting debuffed, and this is going to hurt them quite a bit. The big question, though, is do they want to play out the 1s or 2s, or are they just fine going for, like, the Zero Shield Rock Tomb? They do shield at least once here. Okay. And despite resisting these Bug Bites, it is doing a decent chunk of damage to us, so that is a little bit sad. I'm kind of considering no-shielding this, but I don't really think I can, saying my backline has no real fast attack pressure into this, so I do want to guarantee that I can land this before they switch out. Forretress could be paired with Carbink, and I would like that, actually. My backline's pretty good into Carbink, so if that is the case, I am all for it. If it's anything else, I guess we'll find out shortly. Alright. They do just barely get their next move off. I'm not going to double shield here. I could, but I don't think that's the best play to go for. I'm going to bring in my Seismitoad and try to Mud Shot down before they get another move off. I'm hoping that I can. Sand Tomb would do more damage than I like, saying I'm not the bulkiest Mud Boy out there. We do get the farm down. In comes a Ludicolo. Alright, well that's a little scary. But I'm going to go for a debuff here, and again, there could still be that Carbink in the back line, which means my Tinkaton would have a lot of play. 2, 3, they're debuffed, so if they throw a Weather Ball, I'm fine with that. They're staying in, that's crazy. It honestly could be a Carbink at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. They're at 4, so Weather Ball, and they're 3 away from the next. 3, man, they're letting us get this Gigaton Hammer into them. That's huge. They are at 3, so they have another Weather Ball ready to go. We'll see what they do. They shield. Oh my goodness. They are scared. Then they bring in a Shadow Tyranitar. Okay. Well, bye. Huh. Wasn't expecting that play. I'll be honest. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have the next move here. I think at this point, shielding this up is the play. Because at this point, we should be able to get this Gigaton Hammer off. They should be 1 away from their next move. So this Gigaton should just knock out. I say they should be 1 away, and I still throw an alignment just because I'm scared. I don't know. I would lose CMP anyway. I should go for the Fairy Wind no matter what, but it doesn't matter. Gigaton knocks out, and we get the win. All right, next battle here. Oreo fighting a Streamer. This is crazy. Oh, it's really crazy if we see this in the lead. Uh-oh, bit of a core breaker. I'm going to Stay Swap my Seismitoad and hope that it does me well. Well, okay, not the worst case scenario here, actually. We bait out a Fearow, which we get to spam out Icy Winds into. But I don't necessarily want Switch as much as they probably... Well, I do want Switch, kind of, but, like, I don't have an actual answer to that Melmetal, so, like, how much is Switch really going to help us here? So I think I'm just going to let this go, actually. Take the move and see what they do. Because this isn't going to knock us out, and we force a second attack out of them anyway. Big damage. Let's see if we end up getting the shield here or not. I missed a bubble, by the way. That's kind of embarrassing. And we get a shield. Okay, that's all I could really hope for at this point. If I could get a catch, I'd be really happy, but I don't think the switch clock's going to be up in time. Actually, it is. Okay. It's a double debuffed Fearow at this point. I know for a fact I can survive this move pretty easily, and Melmetal, unless they're running Rock Slide, is going to be walled by my energy. So I don't know how much that's going to help him too much, but we'll see. They're building up a lot of energy here, which means, in my opinion, they are probably not on Rock Slide. I feel like they probably would have wanted to throw that first if they had it. That's a good amount of damage. I think now Twister is going to do enough at least to put them into a range where they'd have to consider shielding or just like being really low. Dynamic Punch here is probably the play if they have it. Yeah. Actually, I'd probably just build up to a Water Pulse. Okay, we force energy either way. That's good. That's good. This is going to be an interesting endgame, though, because I have no idea what is in the back. All right. Was that a CMP? It might have been. Either way, I'm really happy to get this Earth Power off, but they do have a Drill Run loaded on that Fearow. I'm going to switch out here because I don't want to give a big farm down over. Oh, that's big. That's a good Pokemon to see in the back line. With that said, Surf is going to hurt more than I'd like, so keep that in mind. I think this might be a bad play. I'm going to shield once, though, because I think this is going to be a guaranteed Surf. And, like, it's not like I get one shot by a move from that Fearow anyway. So guaranteeing that I'm not, like, shielding Swifts later on is probably a good idea. But we'll see. Big Gigaton Hammer. Does this get a shield? It does? Okay. I mean, now we just no-shield the next attack here. I mean, they're almost in Bulldoze range, even. Maybe I should have Bulldozed. They could go for swap out at some point into that Fearow. But they don't? Okay, well, we should just win then. Bulldoze is going to get the knockout at this point, and I think that Fearow is going to be a little bit too low to get to 2 attacks before I get my next Bulldoze off. I'm going to go for the Bulldoze because it probably does more than one Fairy Wind, although, honestly, maybe I'm not that confident saying this. Is that even true? Maybe it's not. Okay, it definitely does. But it's Bulldoze, so you never know. We get the Fairy Wind down, and Tinkaton closes it out once again. All right, next opponent here. We'll see Mantine up against Seaking. Okay, well, what's their moveset? If they're not even on Icy Wind, then we wall the Drill Runs and the Mega Horns, but, I mean, they're probably on Icy Wind in this meta. Like, why wouldn't you be? But with that said, I do outpace to a Twister, and so I think we're in a pretty good spot. Let's see if we get a shield. I'd be very surprised if you shield a Twister from a Mantine, but if you're going to debuff us, then yeah, I mean, it makes some sense. Okay, so they're at 7 right now, which means they're at 1 past the Icy Wind. But does Icy Wind even two-shot us? It does not. So this is actually really bad for them. Worse than you might even expect. They should be at 4 right now, which means that they, or 5 rather, which means that they are 1 away from the next move. Big damage. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, well, they do debuff us again, but I can't even get pecked down, I don't think, before I get my next move off. So, at this point, Mantine's got a shield advantage, and I think it's going to force a ton of energy out of the Seaking. But I could see them going for a play here, where they try to catch my next Twister, if they do, like, no-shield this and try to go for the next farm down or whatever. They let that go, makes sense. I'm fine if they catch, honestly. They don't catch, they actually just throw energy instead. That's also fine. I think the play here is, like, Seaking is generally a pretty good Tinkaton answer, right? Just because Drill Run is such a spammy attack, I'm going to bring in my Seismitoad and go for the farm down here. I can survive whatever they're going to throw. It's non-stab damage no matter what. They lowered the damage of Drill Run even, so it's going to do less than it could before. They do Icy Wind to get a debuff, so I'll probably have to switch out at some point. Okay, well, that's not terrible to see for Tinkaton. What's the final Pokemon? That is also not terrible for Tinkaton. And since we cleared our debuff on our Seismitoad as well, it's not like Seismitoad's that bad into Kingdra either. It's just I didn't want to throw debuffed Earth Powers into them. I think we're in a really good spot now. Alright, big Gigaton. Now, they could be on Earthquake Licky Licky. That is always an option now in the new update, so I'm probably going to respect that in Shield, but I don't think that they actually would be on it. They do Shadow Ball, so now we know they're probably not actually on Earthquake. 8. I can let this go. 1. Alright, I think I get the Bulldoze off before they get their next Shadow Ball as well. And if I just have a shield for that Kingdra, there's not much they can do to us. Yeah, big damage. 2. 3. 4. And as long as this knocks out, this should be game over. If it doesn't knock out, then I think we're still in a good spot, but it's like slightly more awkward. It does KO, nice. And now, I mean, our Fairy Wind damage on its own is going to put them into range where our Seismitoad can probably finish them off. But, I mean, should I just shield this up? Maybe I should. Just guarantee that I get my next move off. They do Surf, so it's not like I'm shielding a bait, at the very least. Get the Gigaton, and then we'll get an Icy Wind through, and that should knock them out. They should only get a Swift, if anything, into my Seismitoad, and I think we survive that. And even if they do knock us out, I think then we Fairy Wind down. But yeah, we already have the Icy Wind, because we're just such a spammy Pokemon. Man, dude, Seismitoad's putting in so much work. I guess, okay, I should not be attributing this game to Seismitoad. That was more of Mantine being insane. But even still, like, it's just so spammy. I love that. I actually just love that about it. Alright, there we go, next opponent. We'll see Mantine into Great Dilly. Not a good lead, actually. Pretty bad lead, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I can't really bring in my Water Ground type. But I also don't really want to be in a spot here taking debuffs on Mantine. Was that a CMP? If so, then I think I know the play. They're at 7 right now, so they do have access to the Rock Tomb. I think I'm just going to switch and clear my debuff, because now they're in a much more manageable range for my Seismitoad. So we'll let this go, switch out, and we'll see what they do. I don't think they're going to be in Icy Wind range just yet, so I'm not going to throw it. Okay. They come in a Dusknoir, rather. Well, I'm glad I didn't Icy Wind. Earth Power is actually going to potentially get a knockout here. Okay, actually it doesn't, but that does do a lot of damage still. Or, okay. It's only a Shadow Punch. I know I survived this, so I'm going to let this go. Try to get a shield advantage if I can for my Tinkaton. Now, I did throw in bad timing there. You might wonder why I did that. It's mainly because if they do let this go, I want to save my HP here. And this way I didn't take that Astonish. They do let that go. And now Cradilly can't really farm us down, although Fearow can. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not great to see. Like, it's not unplayable, but it's also not amazing. Because Drill Run, as we know, is going to hurt quite a bit. They're at 7, so they are already 3 away from their next move. I'm gonna go for a risky bulldoze bait, because I think I literally have to do it. I don't like doing it, but if I don't, then I might just get destroyed this game. Okay, we get the bait at least. 11, 12, 13. So they're at 3 right now. I'll shield this up again. I think I kind of have to. 4, 5. Double bait. Is it going to work out or not? It's such a risky play, but I mean, I have to do this just to be able to outpace this thing to like the 3rd or 4th move. They wait a turn, which isn't a bad play. And they're energy dry now. But they're like 1 away from a move on like Cradilly, right? Okay. Well, we go for the drill run catch, which hopefully helps us out a little bit. How much does this help us, though, actually? This is so weird. I think I might have to come in Mantine here, actually. Because if I come in Tinkaton, like, there's no way that I'm ever going to get, like, another move off this game. Oh, they catch? Is that a good play for them? It might actually be a really good play, because they saved a drill run. What I wanted to do there is I wanted them to, like, knock out our Mantine. But now that they banked energy, I think they just win. Dang it. Like, I think if I come in Tinkaton, I'm just never going to reach a Gigaton Hammer against a Cradilly. So I think I kind of had to do that. But, like, I had to hope that they would just knock out my Mantine. Yeah, because they have a move loaded. So, like, my only chance of winning is, like, if they one-turn lag, and I get a farm down here, so I can come out with a Gigaton Hammer. And I guess I'm playing for that, because why wouldn't I? Okay, we also get a bad undercharge, so it doesn't even matter. Dang it. We got the catch that we needed this game, but, like, even still, that was such a bad core breaker that I don't really know what else we could have done. Maybe there's a way I could have maneuvered that endgame better, though. But, you know, it's a 3-2 set here. I'll still be fine taking that. And we get a Gibble. Who doesn't love Gibble? After today, honestly, I think Seismitoad has risen quite a bit in my rankings this season. I know there are some odd matchups, right? Like the Ninetales aren't necessarily that good for you because Energy Ball is so quick. But if you don't use it as a counter swap into those Pokemon, and instead use it just as a safe swap in general, get up energy, there's a lot of matchups that you have so much play into as long as you are the one taking initiative with this Pokemon. I think it's honestly pretty strong right now. Give it a go if you have one. But yeah, thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.